Welcome back to the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. Before we get started with this interview, please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, please, if you're listening to the podcast format, please subscribe to this as well. Give me a 5-star rating. So I'm very excited because I'm an American Ninja Warrior super fan. I'm very excited to have this incredible lady sort of on my right. She's a PE teacher, but now she's an American Ninja Warrior fan favorite. She's the first mom in 11 seasons, in season 11, to hit that buzzer, and she also runs Ninja Fortress classes. Please help me welcome Sandy Zimmerman.
Wow, that's quite an introduction. Thank you.
You are so welcome, Sandy. Thank you so much for joining me today.
You bet. I am thrilled to be here. It's an honor.
All righty, let's get started. So when did you get interested in fitness, and how did that passion evolve into the desire to pursue a career in becoming a physical education teacher?
Yeah, I have always been active, I think my whole life. For me, I had a really rough childhood, and sports and athletics and just physical activity was such an outlet for me. It was a break from life. It was a distraction. It was a chance to be around a really positive environment. It was something that, I came more natural and that I was good at, because I also struggled in school. So for me, it was just kind of a break from everything. It was a chance to go do something that I had more of an inclination to do. And so being active has just been part of my life. That was one of the really incredible things my dad did when I was younger, is he just got us in a lot of different sports and activities. Some of them were team sports and traditional sports, very non-traditional sports. Mm-hmm. So somehow he found a way to get enough money or talk people into giving me lessons so I could go and try a lot of different things. And some of them stuck and some did not. But it was really an incredible experience to just try a lot of different things growing up. And then there was a handful that really stuck, that I just really had kind of a natural inclination to and put in the hard work to get really good at. So I've kind of just been active my whole life. And I think it's continued into my adulthood. It continues to be now almost like a therapy, doing American Ninja Warrior. And so it's really interesting how that can evolve.
Awesome. So now we're on the subject of American Ninja Warrior. When did you first get interested into ninja? And then when did that passion evolve into, okay, I want to be on a show?
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey, and it's so funny in life how, you get little hints and clues. I feel like the universe is kind of saying, Sandy, do this, do this. And, for several years before I even knew anything about the show, every once in a while, I'd have people say, hey, have you ever seen this show called American Ninja Warrior? I could see you doing that. And, I was not in any kind of ninja shape at that point. I had stayed active and healthy, but not ninja level. And so for several years, I'd hear people say, hey, have you seen this show? And no, what are you talking about? Ninja Warrior. And then by random chance one day, we're sitting in the living room, and my son looks over at the TV and he goes, Mom, what's that? And I look over, and it was American Ninja Warrior. And I just first thought, wow, that looks like so much fun. And I thought maybe I could do that if I put in the training. And I thought it would be really inspiring for my students. I'm always telling them to be active, to be healthy. I thought, what if I went out and lived that? What if I actually did that and inspired them to be active? So it started really innocently in that way. And it has just been an incredible wild ride of growth and learning and therapy for me, and just really trying to become the best version of myself. It's incredible how something like American Ninja Warrior can do that for you.
Awesome. So I just want to let you know that you came on my radar during season 11 last year, when you became the first mom in show history to hit a buzzer. Can you describe that feeling to when you ran up the warp wall for the first time and hit the buzzer to my audience?
Oh, that is a hard one to put into words. But if anybody went back and watched it, they can see the thrill and the excitement in my body language. It was such a long time coming. And man, a lot of people saw the buzzer and saw that moment, and it was just filled with pure exhilaration and excitement. But what people didn't see is the 5-year journey that it took to get there. And it was not pretty, and it was not buzzers. I mean, it was a lot of failure along the way. And I think it was just one of those things where I held on long enough to that big dream of hitting a buzzer that it became a reality. And I think that's the biggest thing for a lot of people is they may have a big dream or goal, and then stuff happens, life happens, events happen. Maybe the fire for that dream or goal kind of fades after a while. And it's that ability to just hold on long enough to have the impossible, incredible things happen. So when I grabbed the top of that warped wall, that was the moment. And it was really the only moment in that whole run where I thought, this is really happening. Because that whole time I was just like, stay in the moment, Sandy, just take it one obstacle at a time and just grow and learn through this process. But when I grabbed the top of the warp wall, that was the first moment when I thought, Sandy, you did it. Like, this is going to have a happy ending because, man, there were a lot of injuries and a lot of setbacks along the way.
And I'm so proud of you for hitting that buzzer because I think you inspired a lot more moms to compete on this season. And we got to talk about this season because due to the coronavirus pandemic, American Ninja Warrior was formatted very differently this year. The producers and the powers above invited 50 top ninjas, so including yourself, to compete. And this time you brought in 2 representatives to join you. So when did you get the call that you were the top 50? And can you describe my team to my audience?
Yeah, we were actually back in March, just starting to film in LA, and we were actually already in LA. And that's when it came to a screeching halt. We were supposed to go out and film, and they basically, everybody go home. Here's the situation. We got to try to keep everybody safe, and we can't film in these conditions. And so for months, so that was March, April, May, June, we all were just kind of wondering, like, is this ever really going to happen? And, for me, I love being on the show. It is such a thrill, but it is not my why and it's not my purpose. And I love, getting to share my story. I love that idea of inspiring others. And that's the part that really gets me excited. So here we go, though. Shows put on hold, maybe canceled. Nobody really knows. And I'm one of the few lucky ninjas, though, to be honest with you. I have over 40 obstacles built in the backyard. And they can be actually scaled to show height and show distances. And so I kind of honestly felt a little bit guilty because I was one of the few ninjas. I'm like, I can still train. It's in my backyard. I go out my back door. I train with my kids. And so I was one of the few ninjas that could still get on obstacles. And I kept training. And honestly, I kept training not because of the show. I kept training because it's fun and it's my therapy. And so I kept training that whole time. But what a thrill when we've got the call and said, you know what, here's the situation. We are going to film, but it's going to look a lot different. Can you commit to coming down to St. Louis for possibly up to 2 weeks? And that's a huge ask. And I'm sure there were a lot of ninjas that could not do that. But luckily, I'm a teacher. So I was on summer break and I have a very supportive husband that was able, and his work is really supportive. And he was able to get some time off and help with the kids. And so I packed my bags and I headed to St. Louis. And we were COVID tested a week before we left. We were COVID tested the day before we flew out. We were COVID tested when we landed, and pretty much every other day. And we were on lockdown. We were either at the hotel or we were at the arena filming in the Dome. And so it was different, but we were all just so thrilled to get a chance to do it, even if it looked different. And also the idea that maybe this show will come and air at a time when people need it, when people need hope, when people need inspiration, when people just need a distraction and something fun to watch and exciting. So we were all just the ones that could make it so thrilled to get to be a part of it and that it was going to be on, regardless of it being different.
And I love that. And first of all, I was so thrilled when Ninja came back. When I heard it was yes, I was so happy because it was after, here's the thing. American Ninja Warrior brings me so much joy and fans around the world. And you guys have done a lot this season. So you should be all very proud of yourself and how the way that the production crew, I want to give NBC and the entire crew at Arth and Smith and Co. the biggest props on the planet for getting everything organized and executing it fantastically.
Yes, it was amazing. I mean, the amount of thought and preparation is mind-blowing that had to go into this to make this safe, but be able to carry on and still put something out there for us and for all the fans to watch. But man, they did such an incredible job getting us organized, keeping us safe, making sure we were distanced and tested. That they were able to pull that off is really mind-blowing. I know we were one of the first shows to film again and go back on. And man, hats off to them and their team and their crew. You could see it, the passion and the love that they all have for keeping us safe and for putting these stories and these runs out there. So they were incredible.
All righty, so let's talk about your season, starting with the qualifying run. So you had an amazing start, but then Slingshot took you out up the course. So was Slingshot one of the toughest obstacles you've faced so far in your American Ninja Warrior career?
I think what I would describe is, especially this year, I think honestly with a lot of them, it was very technical. And I don't know if that was just because of the different format. It was just a really technical course. And when I got on Slingshot, it was just, I've never done anything like it. And it was so different. And if you can imagine never being on an obstacle and in the middle of it with the lights on and the cameras, you have to try to figure it out on the fly under those circumstances. And so I got on it and I never did really feel comfortable. It was one of those where I felt like my timing was just not quite right. And I'm sure if I could go back and do it again, I could figure out the timing and be really efficient. But I think, the timing of it, the first time being on that type of obstacle with bungees, I just couldn't quite master that bounce. And then what happens is you end up staying up there too long. And when you're not efficient on ninjas, you start to run out of gas. And I think I just wasn't efficient on it. Boy, what I would give to have another chance on that, because I think it's definitely something that I have the strength to do. And it was just a matter of, I just really didn't have the technique and timing of it yet. But that's one I'm hoping to add to my backyard Ninja Warrior course, so that doesn't happen again.
And if you add that, you need to make sure you post it on Instagram and on Twitter.
I will.
All righty. So then you redeemed yourself during the semifinals and you got up to the warp wall for the second season in a row. So what was that like, repeating it again?
Oh, the semifinals felt so amazing. I think the first night of qualifiers, I had a little bit of nerves, and I think I've always got kind of these two battling voices in my head. And I think with that first qualifying run, I kind of had this one that was like, confident, like, Sandy, you crushed it last season. You're the first mom to hit the buzzer. Go make magic happen again. And then I had the other little voice in my head saying, was that just a fluke, Sandy? Did you get lucky last year and, made it through a course? And so that qualifying round, I kid you not, even getting past that first obstacle, I just was like, whoo, okay, I'm back. And then going to the semifinals, I think for me, it was like, a feeling of, Sandy, you belong here. This is where you're supposed to be. This is what you're supposed to be doing. You have a purpose. You have worked hard to get good at this sport. And so I think it was a matter of listening to that right voice, of trusting my training, trusting that I've put in the time and the hard work, and that I was meant to be there. I may not fit the mold of a ninja, being in my 20s and being a gym owner and what typical ninjas have, rock climbing and gymnastics. I'm none of those, but I just felt like going into the semifinals, I belong here and let's go make some magic happen. So one of my favorite moments was definitely getting the warped wall. I'm 5'6", and it is it's a hard ask. And getting to flex again on that wall, I can't tell you, that is a pretty special feeling.
That was a great moment, one of the best moments of the semifinal rounds. Yeah. I gotta say, and that was a really probably one of the top moments of the season.
Oh, thank you. All
right,
it felt good. I will tell you though, after the salmon ladder and then getting on the I think it's called corkscrew, that new obstacle this year.
Oh yeah, that was that insane. That obstacle took out every major ninja.
I don't think I've ever been so, I was legit scared. I grabbed on that And as it spun, I thought, we do get to see someone demo it, but man, it felt like it was going twice as fast as the demo that we saw. And when I grabbed it, I mean, it was so funny because when I got done, my kids were like, Mom, why did you close your eyes and scream? And I was like, I was scared. Like it legit was a scary one.
That was probably the most scary obstacle until the finale, when you were on the roll during the finals and I watched the run, and then all of a sudden you hit the falling shelves, and that you were so close.
No, I felt like if I had been able to get through that one, the rest were ones that I had similar skill sets, things that I have done. But I mean, that was my lack of training. I really hadn't trained those blind grabs, and I have never tried, really worked on that. So it was one of those where there's a little bit of luck involved in this sport. Did you work on the skill set that it's going to require? And so I got on that one. And I mean, it was exciting to make it through the first two and to be able to grab that one. I think you can kind of see it on my face. It's constantly a look of, shock and surprise and excitement all in one when I'm able to stay on. And then that second one, I just was a blind grab and my left hand, didn't quite grab it all the way. Would I love to have that one over again? Yes, because I feel like I could do it. And then the rest back of that half of the course, I felt like, those are things that I've kind of worked on, skill sets that were similar to things that I have in the backyard. So man, oh man, what I would give to just get a shot on the rest of that course.
And the spider trap. Yeah. I could see you go all the way up to the spider.
Yeah.
All righty. So outside the show, in addition to your PE teaching obligations, you also run Ninja Fortress classes for not just kids, not just teens, but also adults. So how has the Ninja Fortress community grown since you first appeared on American Ninja Warrior?
Yeah, that, one of honestly, the best things to come out of my American Ninja Warrior journey has been what has happened in the backyard. And who would have thought? It's kind of like a co-op. And it started with a few people coming, and we would do obstacles and they would make a donation. And as people made donations, all the money went into building more obstacles, into maintaining obstacles, into making sure everything was safe. And it has been incredible what's happened back there. And the relationships and the friendships, you talk about everybody needing a tribe and a community. That's what I have now. We have a group of people that, I kid you not, if something ever happened, they will come running. And I would do the same for them. It is like family. And it is so incredible to have that kind of love and that kind of support that is unconditional. And that's what's happened in the backyard. And then sometimes we'll get new people that will come in and they can feel it. They can just feel that this is a place where people can come and feel safe, and that people can come and learn by trial and error, because that's the nature of the sport. And it's one of the things I love, though, is because all of us, whether it's ninja or something else, we learn by trial and error. There's not really failing. It's just we're trying to make progress. And I think we do that in ninja, and we should do that in life, is that we learn by those lessons. And so watching that happen in the backyard and seeing kids, every once in a while I hear a kid shout something like, I made progress. And boy, I get excited, because I think that's what it's about. It's not about getting the obstacle. It's about, did you get a little further on that obstacle, or were you scared and did the obstacle anyways? That's progress. How do we measure success? Progress. And man, the life lessons happen out there, the relationships being built. You talk about magic. I'm so grateful that I started this journey, and because of that part of it.
Awesome. And I think that I did see some of the stuff going on with Instagram and on your website. I think if that community goes to building, you might need to continue to build. You might need a building.
Well, I have been asked many, many times, because in Spokane, we are getting to be the winter season here, and we're going to get some snow. And so I don't do any classes in the winter. We kind of take an off season. But I will say, I was a multi-sport athlete, and I love the idea of doing different activities. So in the winter, we kind of do some basketball and some other activities and have kind of an off season. But what's cool is that these relationships that I've had, we find ways to get together now outside of Ninja. And it's really, really a special thing that's happened there.
And I gotta say, of all the communities that I treasure and I'm part of in the reality TV industry, there are two communities that I love the most. It's AGT and it's Ninja Warrior. Because you guys have uplifted each other so much. I've heard it from all the acts I've interviewed on America's Got Talent. They're a family. I've heard it from Ninja Warrior from being on the set in Kansas City in 2017 and also being with the Wolfpack Ninjas in 2019 when they visited the New York Open and interacting with all the ninjas. You guys are a community and you guys are positive role model examples for reality TV fans.
Absolutely. That is something I think that made me fall in love with this community and this sport. It is not something they build up on TV. It is absolute 100% genuine and legit relationships and love and care that we have for each other. And we are cheering each other on. And sometimes that might be at the expense of us making it on to the next round, but it is so genuine. I think all of us, because we do Ninja Warrior, understand it's a fine line between success and failure. And all of us, I don't care who you are, all of us have had big wins, but we've also had big losses on A&W, and we can relate. So when we see ninjas out there and they have their big moment, we want to celebrate with them. And when we see ninjas that fall early, we want to help pick them up and encourage them. And it is so genuine, that love that we have for each other and wanting each other to do really well and just see that happen for people. So it is genuine. It is not something that the show builds up for sure.
All right. So we have 3 more questions I got to ask you. So what are your favorite social media channels? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok?
Oh boy. I'm probably, I am definitely, let me take probably out of there. Not as tech savvy as all these other 20-year-old ninjas, but I have started to build up some of my, I would say the Instagram probably would be the best bet. I try to catch up and make sure that I answer questions and look through all the comments and connect with people there. So I would probably say Instagram, where I'm the most active and trying to stay connected to the fans and to the people following me and all the supporters that I've had over the years.
Awesome. So if you had the opportunity to meet with fans who want to audition for American Ninja Warrior, or if Universal Kids brings back American Ninja Warrior Junior, what advice would you share with them?
Oh, advice. Well, I think we really have to discover our why. And I think when people discover their why, it makes the work that goes into getting that big dream or goal not as hard. I think it cuts the workload in about half. Because I will say Ninja Warrior is tough to train for. You talk about daily discipline, you got to bring it every day. And there are days where I don't feel like working out. There are days that I would much rather curl up on the couch and binge watch something. But because my why and my purpose is so strong, and I just have a heart for impacting lives. How can I use my story, my platform to make a difference? Maybe someone out there listening will be inspired to start their own big dream, or motivated, or just see it bring them hope because, wow, Sandy's been through a lot in life and she's made it through the other side. And so for me, that why and understanding this is why I'm doing this cuts the workload in half. So I would really challenge people. You want to start a big dream or goal, whether it's to be on American Ninja Warrior, or whether it's to be on A&W Junior, figure out your why. Figure out your why. What is it that you want to really, why are you doing this? What's your purpose?
Awesome. So where can my audience connect with you on social media and also can contact you through the web?
Yeah, my website is great. If people can go there, it's just sandyzimmermanninja.com. And it has all of my social media links there. It's got my email there. And I try my best to stay connected with everyone and answer everybody's questions and emails and comments and all of that. So I would say check the website out. And I try to keep it really current and up to date. And then they can click on whatever social media that they prefer. I do have a public Facebook page if people prefer that. And I do have Instagram as well as Twitter. So lots of different ways if people have different preferences for platforms that they can find me and connect with me.
Awesome. Now, guys, if you want to download episodes of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, head to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker. Just type in Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR, and the podcast, and then you'll go there. I've had a phenomenal year interviewing some ninjas. I have an interview with Najee Richardson. I have interviewed with Lance Pincus, and also some America's Got Talent icons, including AGT Season 15 winner Brandon Leak and third place runner-up Christina Ray, and not to mention some Big Brother legends like with Dr. Michelle Ross and Rachel Riley, and Survivor icons Rob Sesternino and Ethan Zahn. So you can find all those interviews over there. And also, are you on social media? I'm on social media too. Please follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. It's Jacob Elyachar, so JACOBELYACHAR. And hey, Sandy, I just want to let you know there's a lot more Ninja Warrior stuff on jakes-take.com, including my coverage of the 2017 visit to Kansas City, my interviews with Joe Moravsky, and also my interviews with Wolfpack Ninja co-founders Dr. Noah Kaufman and Ian Dory, and then also the Wolfpack Ninjas visit to New York Open. So once again, it's jakes-take.com. Sandy, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me. You are incredible, and I cannot wait to hopefully see you on American Ninja Warrior Season 13.
That's right. Hey, thanks so much for having me, Jake. I cannot believe I'm on that list of names that you just dropped there. It's an honor to be here with you. And thanks for getting the word out. There's some cool stuff happening on American Ninja Warrior, and the more people we can draw in, the better. So thank you for having me on today. All
righty, guys. Thank you so much for watching our conversation. Thank you so much for listening.